Hello everyone, welcome back to Xylem, welcome back to the world of English. My name is Nasser Faruddin, Faculty of English, and I will be helping you cover the entire syllabus for your upcoming English examination. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe to the channel for the upcoming videos. This is actually a series of videos. If you haven't watched the first few videos, do check the video section. Okay, right. And in this particular video, I'll be discussing two important chapters from our core textbook, which are The Making of a Scientist and Boli. Okay, I'll begin with the chapter The Making of a Scientist. Okay, right. So what is Making of a Scientist and who is the author of the chapter, okay, of the article, I would say? It is Robert W. Peterson. Robert W. Peterson. Robert W. Peterson is an American writer known for writing biographies and non-fiction works. Okay, so this is not a story about Robert W. Peterson, but it is about a scientist. Okay, because Robert W. Peterson is known for writing biographies. And in The Making of a Scientist, he presents the life of Richard Ebride. This is the name I want you to remember. Okay, Richard Ebride. Who is Richard Ebride? Richard Ebride in a simple and motivating manner. Okay, so we are discussing the story of Richard Ebride in a very simple and motivating manner, showing how curiosity and hard work can shape a great scientist. So Richard is a great scientist, and how he became a great scientist with the qualities of curiosity and hard work. That is the crux of the story. Okay, right. And now we'll discuss about the setting of the chapter. Okay, in which all places the story, the incidents are happening. The story is set mainly in Pennsylvania, US. Okay, Pennsylvania, USA, especially around Reading. Reading is the name of a place. It is not the action verb reading, but it is a name of a place where Richard Ebride grew up. That is where Richard Ebride, the scientist or the young prodigy, no, a normal student, grew up. Some parts of the story are set in schools, science fairs, home laboratories, in the basement of his house, and research laboratories such as at the Walter Reed Army Institute and Harvard University laboratories. So these are the setting of the story. The time period covers Richard's childhood, school years, and early college life. Okay, I hope you have understood. And now let's understand in detail about the story. Okay, childhood and early curiosity. Childhood and early curiosity. Richard Ebride grew up as an only child in a small town in Pennsylvania. Since he had no siblings or nearby friends, he spent much of his time alone. So, Richard Ebride, when he was growing up, he led a secluded life. Secluded life, not in a very negative way, but it becomes positive later. This solitude encouraged him. This solitude, this loneliness encouraged Richard Ebride to observe nature closely. Since he doesn't have friends to chat with, he started observing nature. From a young age, at that point of time we did not have Instagram or WhatsApp. From a young age, he enjoyed collecting butterflies. He enjoyed collecting butterflies, rocks, fossils, and coins. He also developed an interest in astronomy and spent nights watching stars. His curiosity and determination were clear even in childhood. So this is the childhood of Richard Ebride. And what happens? The role of his mother. This is very crucial. The role of Richard Ebride's mother in the upbringing of Richard Ebride as a future scientist is very crucial. Yes, Richard's mother played a vital role. What do you mean by vital? Very crucial role in shaping his future. After his father's death, she became his only companion, because we have already discussed it that he had no siblings or nearby friends. So she was his only companion, friend. She encouraged learning by buying him microscopes, telescopes, cameras, and books. That is how his mother encouraged, motivated the learning instincts in her child. She spent evenings working with him at the dining table and always found ways to keep him intellectually engaged. That is very important. Okay, she always found ways to keep him intellectually engaged, and her support helped develop his love for science. Okay, and butterfly collection and the turning point. By second grade, Richard had collected all the butterfly species found in his area. Isn't that amusing? Isn't that interesting? By the second grade, he had collected all the butterfly varieties available in his area, or found in his area. This could have ended his interest. This could have, okay, that is where it should have ended. But his mother gave him a book titled, this is important, The Travels of Monarchs. Okay, that was the title of the book his mother gave him. The book explained the migration of monarch butterflies. The book explained the migration pattern of a butterfly called monarch, okay, or monarch butterflies, and invited readers to help in real scientific research. The book invited readers to engage in real scientific research. This book became a turning point and opened the world of science to him. So this particular book titled The Travels of Monarchs is very, very important. And tagging butterflies and scientific training. Tagging butterflies, I'll explain what it is. Inspired by the book, Richard began tagging monarch butterflies for research. Okay, he started tagging, put a tag in it. He even raised butterflies in his basement, caring for them through the life cycle. Though tagging became repetitive and gave little feedback, it taught him patience, discipline, and research skills essential for science. Okay, because if you want to be a scientist, you have to be patient. You have to have research skills. Okay, you have to have a lot of patience to get the right result. And failure at the science fair, it's a very crucial incident in his life. In seventh grade, Richard participated in a country science fair but failed to win any prize. Richard participated in a country science fair but failed to win any prize. His project was only a display, not a real experiment. Okay? This failure disappointed him deeply but taught him a valuable lesson. True science involves experimentation and discovery. Okay, true science involves experimentation and discovery, not just mere display of things. And that was a crucial point in his life. Real experiments and success. Determined to improve. Okay, he was not ready to give up. He was determined. He had strong desire to improve. Richard began conducting genuine experiments. True experiments. He studied diseases in caterpillars and butterfly mimicry. Even when experiments failed, he honestly reported his efforts. His dedication paid off as he started winning prizes at country and international science fairs. Gradually, he started, receiving prizes, recognition, and discovery of the monarch pupa hormone. Richard studied the gold spots on monarch pupa and discovered that they produced a hormone necessary for the development. He built devices to prove his theory and conducted advanced experiments. His work earned top awards and opportunities to work in prestigious laboratories. Okay, and breakthrough in cell theory. Okay, this is not the end. Breakthrough in cell theory. While studying at Harvard, Richard developed a new theory explaining how cells read DNA instructions. These are scientific things, but just keep this in mind. Okay, and he and his roommate James Wong worked overnight building models and diagrams. Their research brought international recognition and marked a major breakthrough in biology. And all-round development. Richard was not limited to science alone. He was a champion debater, public speaker, canoeist. Okay, the one who do this thing, canoeist, and and photographer. His teacher, Mr. Weir, admired his dedication and effort. Richard believed in winning not for prizes but for personal excellence. And qualities that make a scientist. The chapter concludes by highlighting the qualities needed to become a scientist: intelligence, curiosity, hard work, perseverance, and desire to excel for the right reasons. Richard A. Bright's journey proves that success in science begins with curiosity and continuous, genuine efforts. Okay, and that is the chapter Making of a Scientist. Okay, and now we'll discuss the next chapter, which is Boli. Okay, what is Boli? Let's read. The author, K.A. Abbas, aka Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, was a famous Indian writer, journalist, and filmmaker. His writings focus on social issues such as gender discrimination, poverty, and human dignity. Though through the story Boli, he highlights the importance of education. Okay, people, I want you to listen this very carefully. He highlights the, give me a sec, importance of education in empowering women and giving them self-respect. So this is a central idea of the story Boli by K.A. Abbas. And what is the setting of the story? What is the setting of the story? Where does the story take place? The story is set in a small village in North India. The main locations are Boli's home, the village girls' school, and the courtyard where the wedding takes place. Okay, we have three settings. We'll understand that later. The story covers several years, showing Boli's growth from childhood to adulthood. The rural setting reflects traditional attitudes towards girls, marriage, and education. Okay, done. Moving on. Who are the characters of the story? Boli, okay, her real name is Sulekha. The protagonist, the central character of the story. Protagonist means Protagonist. Protagonist means the central character of the story is a girl named Boli. People call her Boli, and her real name was Sulekha. She is physically challenged, stammers while speaking, and is neglected by society. Okay, keep this in mind. She is physically challenged, stammers while speaking, and neglected by society, even by her own family. Education transforms her into a confident, self-respecting woman. So education plays a key role in Boli's Sulekha's life. And we have Ramlal, Boli's father. Ramlal is Boli's father and a village revenue official. He is worried about Boli's future and gives importance to social honor. Rather than taking care of his child's emotions, he gave importance to the social honor. And we have Boli's mother. She is traditional and narrow-minded. She believes marriage is more important than education for girls. And we have Boli's teacher. Boli's teacher is, she's a kind, patient, and caring woman who changes Boli's life through love and encouragement. Okay, and these are very important points I want you to take care of. And we have an antagonist character, a villain character, which is Bishambarnath, an old, lame, greedy man who demands dowry at wedding. Bishambarnath is an old, lame, greedy man who demands dowry at wedding. Now let's see what happens in the story. Listen to me very carefully. Boli's childhood and physical challenges. Boli's real name is Sulekha, we have already mentioned, but she is called Boli because people think she's foolish. So Boli, the name Boli has a negative connotation. Boli is not a good thing. Even though it seems cute for us, Boli, it is not that. Okay, people call her Boli because people think she's foolish. A childhood accident damages her brain and smallpox disfigures her face. Smallpox disfigures her face. She also stammers while speaking. So she has all these problems, issues. Because of these problems, she's mocked. She's laughed at. She's mocked by the people, the society, and she was isolated by people around her. And neglect and discrimination at home. At home, not in the society, at home. Boli grows up in a prosperous family. I have already mentioned the occupation of her father. Okay, so she grew up in a very prosperous, wealthy family, well-off family, but is neglected. But is neglected by people, her family members. Her brothers are educated and her sisters are married, while she wears old clothes and receives no affection, no love. Her parents consider her as a burden. Her parents consider her as a burden. And decision to send Boli to school. Decision to send Boli to school. When a girls' school opens in the village, the Tehsildar orders Ramlal to send his daughters to school. But his wife suggests sending Boli. Why? Because of the love? No. Because she has little chance of marriage. She will not get married to anybody. So let's send her to the school. Thus, Boli is sent to school for an unusual, strange reason. That's how Boli, is sent to the school. And Boli's fear and first day at school. Boli's fear and first day at school. Boli is terrified and thinks she is being abandoned. She is bathed and dressed in clean clothes, which gives her hope. She is still nervous but curious about the school. And the teacher's kindness and encouragement. This teacher plays a very, crucial, pivotal role in Boli's attitude, in her perspective of looking at the world. Boli meets a kind teacher who speaks gently and encourages her. She praises Boli's efforts instead of laughing at her. Boli feels comforted and begins to trust the teacher. She begins to trust the process. She begins to trust education and transformation through education. With guidance and regular schooling, Boli gains confidence. Education gives her a voice and self-respect. She grows mentally strong and independent. So that's how education transformed Boli. And marriage proposal and social pressure. Boli's parents accept Bishambarnath's proposal. Bishambarnath is an old lame man. He is rich, old and lame, but initially asked for no dowry. Initially, he didn't ask for no dowry because he thought, I'm an old man, I'm getting married to a young girl, so there's no point of, buying dowry. But Boli agrees silently to protect her parents' honor. Boli was not ready initially, but because she's forced to marry an old man. But she finally, agreed because of the social pressure, I would say. And dowry demand and humiliation. During the wedding, Bishambarnath demands 5,000 rupees, which is a very large amount of money at that point of time, after seeing Boli's face. When Bishambarnath came across her face, he demanded money. Unfortunate. Ramlal gives the money to save his honor. Guests are shocked at the groom's greed. The groom, Bishambarnath, is very greedy. But Boli's bold rejection. Boli throws the garland, into the fire and rejects the marriage. She speaks confidently without stammering and stands up for her dignity. Everyone is surprised. And that's how the story ends, okay? And a new life of independence. Boli decides not to marry and becomes a teacher. She promises to care for her parents. Her teacher proudly supports her. Boli firmly becomes Sulega, confident and self-respecting. So this is, the story is actually a transformation from Boli to Sulega. Okay, and that's how the story ends. And what are the themes of the story? We can easily understand. The social evil of dowry is a theme, and importance of self-respect and power of education and women empowerment. These are the major themes of the story, and I hope you have understood both the chapters. If you have understood both the chapters, please leave a feedback. Please leave your feedback in the comment box, and you can scan this QR code to access the free handwritten notes. It's completely free, and your your safety, your privacy is completely protected. You do not have to worry about that. And I have also prepared a chapter test based on the 2 chapters we have learned. You can check the description box for the chapter test. Do attempt, and thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next class. Bye.